Hello everyone, myself Dr. Bhuvaneshwari Sharannavar, Associate Professor in Department of Pharmaceutical Quality Assurance, KLE's College of Pharmacy. Today I am here to talk about Introduction to Validation. At the end of this class, you will be able to know concept of validation, need of validation, scope of validation, and what do you mean by qualification and the difference between the qualification and validation. To start with the introduction of the validation, validation is a establishing documented evidence, which provides a high degree of assurance that a specific process will consistently produce a product meeting its predetermined specification and quality attributes. This is to maintain the assurance at a high degree of a quality of a product, that is, it may be a food or a drug product. So, need for validation. Before any introduction of a new method into the routine use, we have to go for validation, or whenever there is a conditions that change for which a method has been needed validation, in that case also we need to go for a validation. For example, instrument with different characteristics, or whenever the method is changed and the change is outside the original scope of the method, in that case also we need to go for a validation. Next is the purpose of validation: to accept an individual sample as a member of population under the study, to obtain a consistent, reliable and accurate data, to admit a samples to the measurement process, to minimize later questions on sample authenticity, then to provide an opportunity for resampling whenever it is needed. Next is the scope of validation. So validation is an integral part of the quality assurance department, and its simple meaning is action of proving, as we have seen in the definition already. So validation requires an appropriate and sufficient infrastructure, which includes the organization of validation, and it includes the proper documentation, it includes the personnel who are qualified and trained enough, and it also includes the finances. Involvement of the management as well as the quality assurance personnel is important. Personnel with appropriate qualification and experience is very much important. As I have mentioned already, there is a need of extensive preparation and planning before the validation is performed, and it is a specific program for validation activities should be in place. Next we will see what do you mean by qualification. Whenever a validation of any type of equipment, instrument is there, then it is called as a qualification of that equipment. It's a equipment or instrument whose validation whenever we carry out, we call it as a qualification. So GMP emphasizes on a documentation. We all know that documentation should not be considered as a burden. It should be considered as an opportunity to accumulate information in an organization for a proper system. Now, qualification is defined as the action of proving and documenting that any premises, systems or equipments are properly installed and or work correctly and lead to the expected results. Equipment and systems are required to be qualified and processes are required to be validated. The qualification program is consisting of different stages or different types of qualifications are there, which include design qualification, installation qualification, operational qualification, performance qualification, component qualification, which is a relatively new technology, newer terminology. Then requalification. We will see one by one. First one is the installation qualification. Installation qualification is an essential step preceding the process validation exercise. It is normally executed by the engineering group. The installation of the equipment, piping, services and instrumentation is undertaken and checked to engineering drawings, pipings and instrument diagrams, P&IDs and planned functional specification developed during the project planning stage. During the project planning stage, installation qualification should involve the identification of all system elements, service conduits and gauges, and the preparation of a documented record that all installed equipment satisfies the planned requirements. Identification and documenting of maintenance requirements for each installed items and the collection and collation of supplier operating and working instructions, maintenance and cleaning requirements should form the minimum documentation for a satisfactory installation qualification. Next is the operational qualification. Operational qualification is an exercise oriented to the engineering function, generally referred to as commissioning. Studies on the critical variables or parameters of the operation of the equipment or systems will define the critical characteristics for operation of the system or subsystem. All testing equipment should be identified and calibrated before use. The methods should be authorized, implemented, and resulting data should be collected and evaluated. It is important at this stage to assure all operational test data conform with predetermined acceptance criteria for the studies undertaken. It is expected that during the operational qualification stage, the manufacturer should develop draft standard operating procedures for the equipment. Next is the performance qualification. It refers to the validation of the operational premises. This validation will show as the total environmental quality with all the influencing factor. Next is the component qualification. It's a relatively new terminology which came into existence in the year 2005. This term refers to the manufacturing of auxiliary components to ensure that they are manufactured to the correct design criteria. Next one is the requalification. Modifications to or relocation of equipment should only follow satisfactory review and authorization of the documented change proposal through the change control procedure. Part of the review procedure should include consideration of the requalification of the equipment. Minor changes or changes having no direct impact on final or in-process product quality should be handled through the documentation system of the preventive maintenance programmer. So we will stop here. Next part, that is part 2, we will continue in the next class. Thank you one and all.